Well, this is our first podcast recording. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hey guys, I didn't know I was supposed to introduce myself. She just looked at me like, I'm like,
So it's Jasmine.
Joe, obviously.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, yeah. Welcome to our podcast, and yeah, we are just super excited to have you guys
For
listening.
sure.
This is awkward.
What's awkward about it?
Okay, let's plan what we was gonna say.
Well, I thought you was just gonna introduce us like you do on the Jas and Jo Show, and then go from there like we always do.
Okay.
You wanted to do something different?
I mean, just welcome everybody to our podcast. So, whatever. Hey guys, it's Jas and Jo here. Yeah, welcome to our podcast. We're super excited to bring you guys our new form of, what do you call it?
Communication platform. I don't
Yeah.
know what you want to call it.
So we're sitting here at a coffee shop. So if you do hear a little background noise, then please, find it in your hearts to forgive us and, to keep listening to our great message.
Right.
So yeah, the reason that we want to do a podcast is because we just want it to be more authentic for you guys, just more real, and we felt that we could convey that through podcast format better than we could on YouTube.
Yeah, and the reason I like the podcast format more than I like the YouTube format, not saying that we're gonna stray away totally from YouTube, but we wanted to do podcasts because if you look at podcasts, I don't care which one you look at, one of my favorites is the Joe Rogan Show, and that podcast is fully about dialogue between him and whoever his guest is, or even sometimes just talking to somebody who he's spoken to like a million times before, and he's not looking at the timer and saying like, oh, I gotta finish this video in this amount of time and blah blah blah, and he's not really worried about how it looks. Kind of like she said, it's just a lot more authentic, and we feel like we could get more messages across a lot better in a podcast format. And plus there are some guest speakers that we are thinking about bringing on, some people that are already agreed to air on the podcast with us, so it should be really interesting, and we just feel like it cultivates a richer learning experience as opposed to me doing a 5-minute video on YouTube just to get some views or likes or whatever it may be. We kind of just want to provide as much value as possible, and we felt like sometimes we just couldn't do that as effectively on YouTube because of time constraints and finding a good location to record and different stuff like that. So,
And I also like podcasts better than I do YouTube because I don't have what is it called? The YouTube Red, where you can just close out your phone and that's it. So I like to just listen to things for maybe about 45 minutes to an hour usually, like if I'm working out or if I'm driving. It just makes everything so much more convenient to do through a podcast, and I don't have to sit there and look for videos every 5 minutes if I'm on YouTube, like if I'm driving, because that's dangerous. You shouldn't be on your phone and driving.
but most people do it anyway.
Yeah.
I know I do.
So, yeah, our goal with the podcast is pretty much the same as what it was for our YouTube channel, was just to get those, what would I call them? Like those newer entrepreneurs, and kind of just showing them our journey, and also getting once we have like our guest speakers and everything, they'll give more insight too.
Yeah. And just a message to the newer entrepreneurs, like, and I'm still fairly new myself, obviously. Um, but I know a lot of you guys are probably searching for perfection and to look good in the public eye and different stuff like that. And I just want to let you know that that isn't always necessary. You can be genuine, you can be very authentic, and still kick ass when it comes to any type of business or entrepreneurial venture. Um, like, just to give you guys a little bit of update of what we've been up to. We've been looking at a lot of businesses and real estate, and we just helped one of our partners raise, I think it was $80,000 for a deal in Florida, which obviously that's not a ton of capital, but when you take into consideration that we did that from a spare bedroom at my godmother's house, most people would think that's kind of impressive. And that's not the only thing that we were working on, but it's just really the most recent. So just go after it and don't care about what your current situation is or what people have to say about you or how you're going to look to somebody else, because all of that stuff is going to slow you down. And it slowed me down numerous of times. So
Yeah, and that translates into one of the topics that we wanted to talk about during this podcast, which was that perfection isn't necessary. So as you can see, like on YouTube, we'll also be putting this podcast on YouTube. So, the lighting isn't perfect. We're sitting at a coffee shop because we're doing this in a free space. We don't have an office. We record YouTube videos in our bedroom. So, yeah, perfection is not necessary as long as the content is great. That's all that really matters, and that's what we've been learning a lot. So, like right now, I'm listening to the audiobook Crushing It by Gary Vee, and he talks about that a lot. And it's all about the content, not it's a little bit about delivery, but it's more so the message. Is it a good message? Do people really want to hear it?
yeah. And just another thing, I don't know if, this smoothie is getting to me. I apologize, everybody. But I don't think Jasmine spoke on this, but when it comes to your message, just know that your message isn't going to resonate with everybody. And I know that's something that I really struggled with in the beginning of our venture. Is I expected friends, I expected family, I expected strangers, all of these different people, just because I was doing something that was good and positive. I expected everybody to really resonate with that, be on board with it, cheer me on, help me, give me referrals, different things like that. And 95% of those people aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna care about your message. They might actually hate your message, and that's okay, because you're not in business for the 95% of people. You never are. If you read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek,
Yep.
I believe, he spoke about that. Your goal is to resonate with 5% of people, and then that 5% of people will tell the other 95, hey, you guys should do business with this guy because of this and that reason. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs who want to have their message resonate with everyone, the whole 100% at first. And it just doesn't work like that. And that's totally fine. Don't down yourself just because the people close to you don't necessarily believe in what you're trying to do. Because most people are bandwagoners. Like, they're gonna hop on a train sooner or later. We were just watching this comedy special with I forgot his name, but it was
the guy from Hangover, the agent from Hangover.
Yeah, the agent from Hangover. He said his dad wanted him to be a doctor before he was even born, and he was like, when I first, when I was younger, he used to be like, you better bring me good grades. And then he's like, now that he's famous and not a doctor anymore, because he was a doctor prior to that. And now that he's not a doctor anymore, he's like, you better bring me that Mercedes S-Class. Like, now he's all for it. Now he believes in them and everything, when that probably wasn't even the case before.
And that's common in a lot of entrepreneurs and within, like, their families and friends. Like, that's very common. So if that's you right now, then don't worry.
Yeah, and it sucks. And it's like nobody warns you that it's going to be like crap for the first year at least. And I think we moved pretty quickly on, the stuff that we've done. And still the whole first year is like, oh, you're still doing that thing? You ain't gave up yet?
Right. Not till we make $1 million, which we told them we were going to make in the first year. They're like, oh, you're not a millionaire yet? Just wait on it. Just wait on it.
Yeah. Just let them talk.
Yeah. So we also wanted to talk about the importance of branding, because, I mean, that's really the reason that we're putting out all of this content that we have been, especially lately. Branding is everything. We went to the 10X conference, Grant Cardone's conference, and that was what it was all about. Like, we were looking over people's websites and getting critique from Ty Lopez and just Grant himself. He raised, how much was it?
$15 million.
$15 million in 90 minutes. In 90 minutes. That's crazy. And then, like...
And he wasn't trying to raise $15 million, because he was just saying, hey, I got this fund over here.
And then, like, they raised so much money for this cancer... It was like a cancer foundation or something there. And he asked everyone to donate $25. Now, it was 35,000 people there. Yeah. They raised a lot of money. I don't remember what the amount was, but it was a lot. And people did all of that because it's Grant Cardone. He's his own brand. They invest with him because it's him. They don't... People, I mean, people do invest for returns, but they invest with you because they trust you.
Yeah.
Everyone that's invested with us thus far, or gave us verbal commitments to invest, like, they trust us and they like us, because especially when we didn't have anything going at all, like no projects, no experience, no nothing.
Yeah.
And we still got those commitments because people believed in us. It wasn't they believed in our company, they believed in us personally. And that's why we want to get our brand out there more than we have.
Yeah, and just recognition, because I think Grant Cardone was the one who said that it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And when he said that, it really resonated with me, because it's like a lot of times we're trying to know the right people, but it's like we need to be attracting those people to us. If you look at how much Grant Cardone markets, whether it be on social media or like any type of platform, like he puts out videos, sometimes multiple videos, every single day. He's literally done millions of emails in just 1 year's time.
Make sure you're talking this way.
Oh yeah, outbound calls, inbound, like all of these different things. Like, he does so much to put his name out there that people come up to him or call his office and they're like, hey man, I've been following you for like 2 years. I finally want to invest with you. I got $200,000 or whatever. And it's only because they know him. And it has nothing to do with the return, because most of these people, like, when they decide to invest, they don't know what the return is going to be. And not only that, like, I've realized even in my own career, and I don't know what all his returns were, but and this is not to down talk what he's doing at all, but in one video I remember him saying, like, if it's a really good building and all this other stuff, that 6% is good, which honestly, every project I've looked at pays way more than 6%, projected. And I've had people turn down some that had a higher return than that. And it wasn't necessarily because the return was bad. Sometimes they just didn't trust my expertise or the expertise of my team. So as you guys are going out building businesses, empires, and all of these different things, like, put your face out there as much as you possibly can. Yes, people are going to hate you for it. I go in Grant Cardone's comment section all the time, and there's like 10 people that love him, but there's also another 10 that like wants to see him beheaded or something. Like,
I mean, he said if you don't got no haters, you are not playing the game.
yeah, and it's like I had a couple, but they're close. I don't have enough haters.
Right.
Like, because
we
it's like
need
I'm
to
not
get
doing.
some more haters. Come
Yeah.
on, hate us, because that means we're doing something.
I know, right?
So yeah, following that, we are in the process of rebranding ourselves. We've been working on our rebranding ever since we got back from the conference. So about 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a very long 2 weeks, and we've been very tired. But it's all working out for the best. So, with that being said, our old name was the Mims Group Incorporated, and we wanted something that was more symbolic, something that would mean something. I mean, our last name will mean something one day, but people, they just think of that as like another last name. They don't think of it as like Apple or like Spanx. So, with that being said, again, we changed our name. Yep, we changed our name as soon as we got back from the conference, and we are now Abundant Culture Incorporated. And it's crazy how we got this idea. So as we're at the 10X conference, we meet two women that they have a marketing agency, and it seems phenomenal. Like, we cannot wait to use them for multiple businesses. And we told them that we wanted to change our name, and we asked them, did they think that we should change our name before we started working with them, or did it not matter? So one of the women, she was like, okay, so what are you guys thinking? Or, what are some of the things that, is dear to your heart? And we started saying a whole bunch of things about what we wanted out of our company and, who we were. And she was like, okay, so I hear abundant and I hear culture. And we're like, yes, that's it.
Yeah, that had a ring to it.
So, the name of their company is called Ivy Leads, and they got that name from Isabel is one woman, and then Vanessa is another, and then Leads just because they've been marketing. So they are just super creative. And yes, so shout out to them. We really appreciate you guys giving us that idea, because we are taking that so far.
Yeah.
And with that,
Did
we
you want to talk
are.
about the reason why we named it
Oh,
that?
yeah, you can talk about it.
Yeah, so the reason why we kind of named it Abundant Culture is because our whole business model is basically to spread abundance by acquiring businesses and real estate projects and adding value to them. And the way we add value to these businesses and real estate projects may differ across the project. Every business is a lot different, but our goal is to increase the value that it provides to the clients, the customers, the employees, because when you have happy employees, those happy employees make happy customers. When you have happy customers, those happy customers give referrals, and the more business you get, the more revenue you make. And at the 10X Growth Conference, I realized that revenue is an indicator of how much value you add to people. So the reason why Amazon is like one of the most wealthy people, one of the most wealthy companies on the face of the planet, is because they add the most value uh, to people. And you could see that because you probably shopped on Amazon for something before. So we want to increase the revenue that these apartments and these businesses make by just adding value to the people that work within those companies. So, and I was really big on culture, just making sure that we have a culture of people who are happy, treating each other correctly, and all of those different things. And obviously, abundant comes up a lot just because I grew up in poverty, and I refuse to let my children and my children's children grow up in poverty. So I know even at the stage where I'm at now, I have to think with total abundance, even if it means sacrificing money today for money tomorrow at times, which I've done plenty of times. So that's where they kind of came up with the name, and that's how I feel about it. So let us know how you feel about the name, the brand. We're coming out with the logo soon, so you'll see that.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I got the logo back. So we have the logo back, and I like it, but it's something still missing. So we'll be coming out with a temporary logo, I guess we could call it, and from there, then we'll be
Revise it.
yeah, just revising it along the way. But the name is here to stay, and so our future plans are in the very, very near future. We plan on coming out with merchandise. So be on the lookout for like T-shirts and whatever else we can think of.
And with the merchandise, it's mainly targeted. Like honestly, anybody could buy it, obviously, but our target market is the people who believe in culture, obviously, and abundance, obviously. So mainly, like we try to target, like I said, either entrepreneurs. You could either be a new entrepreneur or a very established entrepreneur who runs a good business and have a positive, optimistic outlook on life. And those are the people that we envision wearing our product for the most part.
Yeah. So this is not just a brand. This is the movement.
If you have a poor mentality, honestly, I don't know if our merchandise would be for you. And I don't mean like poor in your bank account. That's different. I mean like if you have a poverty, scarcity, I'm gonna get mine and screw everybody else type mindset. That is not what my company is about. So I can't necessarily dictate who buys it, but I'm just saying.
But just know if it's for you, then get it.
Yeah, if it's for you, by all means.
And yeah, that pretty much concludes our very first podcast. And we also want to let you guys hear our intro, so we'll play that. And as just a final reflective question that we want to leave you with is, how is your brand reflecting you? Currently reflecting you. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, feel free to reach out.